Greetings to all and a warm welcome to our latest live webcast, Licensing as a Service for Software Businesses that Need to Move Fast. We are thrilled you've decided to join us for this enlightening masterclass. With each episode, we provide new highlights, technical tips, and success stories that will leave you inspired and ready to get your protection, licensing, and security techniques another step closer to perfection. At WIBU-SYSTEMS, we empower software publishers and intelligence device manufacturers with cutting-edge technologies, new business models, and tailor-made consulting training. Let us help you upgrade, optimize, and automate your entire license lifecycle management so you can focus on monetizing your business at a higher level. My name is Christopher McCain, Product Marketing Manager at WIBU-SYSTEMS, and I am delighted to have you here with us today. We are joined by Stefan Bamberg, Director Sales and Key Account Management, and Sven Fuhrmann, Professional Services, both from the headquarters of WIBU-SYSTEMS. To give you a roadmap for today's session, here's what we'll be covering. CodeMeter Licensing as a Service provides software vendors and intelligent device manufacturers with a fast and scalable way to introduce modern licensing without building a custom backend from scratch. Pre-configured license models and predefined container strategies enable rapid market entry while allowing commercial rules, reseller structures, and pricing logic to evolve over time. The approach supports offline, networked, and cloud deployments and delivers transparency through active container tracking and detailed license reporting. Before we dive into the content, let's quickly address a few housekeeping items. For all of you tuning in today, we've set aside a special segment at the end of the session exclusively for Q&A. We warmly encourage you to drop your questions into the live chat box as they come to mind. If we can't get to your question during the live discussion, rest assured we'll make it a priority to engage with you individually at a later time to address your queries. This session is being recorded, and a link to the on-demand replay will be sent straight to your inbox within the next couple of days. This way, you can revisit the insights shared today at your leisure. And don't forget, stick around for the entire live session and seize the opportunity to win an invaluable few hours of personalized CodeMeter consultation with our industry-leading experts. As the webinar concludes, a new browser tab will automatically open, presenting you with a quick quiz. We'll randomly select a lucky winner from those who answer correctly and make the big announcement when we release the webinar replay. Kindly note that if you win, you'll be ineligible for any other prize draws we host in 2026. Be also aware that this brief questionnaire includes additional questions aimed at gauging the quality of this masterclass. While these questions are optional, your valuable feedback will empower us to enhance the quality of our offerings and tailor our online events more precisely to meet your specific needs. And now, without any more delay, I'm delighted to hand over the reins to Stefan. The stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Chris. My name is Stefan Bamberg. I'm here with my colleague Sven and want to welcome you to our Licensing as a Service webinar. We want to show you in the next about 60 minutes how easy it is to protect and monetize your software in a very easy way, not spending so many effort on understanding the underlying technology to set up systems, to configure systems before you can even start to work with licenses for your end customers. So I want to introduce Sven to you, and Sven is now at least with a very short introduction. He wants to introduce you to that what we will discuss later in much more deeper details.
Hello, and thanks for the introduction, Stefan. So let's talk about CmLaaS. Imagine that you come to my store and that you want to buy a couch. And now I give you tools, materials, and instructions everything you need to buy to build your couch yourself. So maybe you will say, yeah, that's great. I have time and the resources to do this, and I'm motivated to build my own couch. But most probably, what would you say? Are you serious? I want solid and reliable furniture, and you are the specialist. Therefore, I want to buy the couch from you. So, and with licensing, this is pretty similar. So we from WIBU are pleased to help you set up your licensing system and help you to model your licenses. But licensing, even if we from WIBU, we wouldn't like to admit it, licensing is not everyone's topic. Not everyone is fond of it, right? Of course, the licensing system, License Central, everything, this needs, these resources are needed. For example, License Central needs to be hosted. So either you need infrastructure or we host it on our side. And also, if you want to model your licenses yourself, of course, you can do this, but you need the know-how, you need the time. And at the end, maybe you'll still have some kind of lingering feeling that maybe there is something you didn't do right, and there's something you could do better. And all in all, yeah, licensing is a question of time and money, and it needs to be done right. Especially if your business relies on it. And in the case that your business is still growing and you don't have the resources to put much effort into licensing, of course, then why should you spend hours and weeks and days to try to monetize your product? Well, this is our business, right? So this is why we are addressing this problem by introducing licensing as a service, or CmLaaS, as we call it shortly. So we provide the infrastructure for your licensing system, and also we provide good old solid license models as base for your licenses, and you can customize these a little bit, and yeah. And then you can move on licensing, monetizing your product. So, Stefan, what different kinds of license models are there, and what are they good for?
Yeah, first of all, it's a wonderful picture with that couch and the living room. So with CodeMeter, you have the flexibility to build up the whole room with your own choices. But we want to give you an additional solution that has exactly the same advantages and the same security like you have with our standard technology. But we predefined several things for you so that it is very easy to start monetizing and protecting your application. So in our last 37 years, I think we have seen a lot of different licensing models in the market, requirements of our customers. And we collected all these experiences, and we predefined several license models for you, so that there is no need that you have to read huge manuals, understand different parameters. It's just you choose a licensing model and you can start with it. And let's go through the different license models that we have defined, because we think these are the ones the market requires most. So the easiest one, of course, is the Perpetual single user license. It's a activate the license and you have it forever from your customer perspective. So it's a lifetime software usage right. You can define features that can be individually activated during the creation of the license. It's a license either for a dedicated user or for a dedicated machine. The advantage is no renewal needed. Well, it's very easy. You activate it once. You can activate it offline or online. That's an important thing to know. With software licenses or with CM dongles, it can be used completely offline. Even the activation can be done completely offline. So if you have a device that is not online, has no internet connection, you can create a so-called fingerprint from this machine, which is nothing else than a file. You can move that file from your offline PC to an online PC in your company, and you can perform the whole activation process with that online machine. You upload the fingerprint of that offline machine. You add the ticket that you get from your ISV, and then you download an update file that can be transferred to the offline on PC as well. I call that a sneaker interface, and then the license is activated without any need for a connection from this specific device. Disadvantages are, of course, no recurring revenues for the vendor. You know, subscription models are one of the most interesting in the field in the moment, because you get a recurrent revenue year by year by year. Of course, if your application is very good. Users must purchase a license for the new version if required. So if you want to earn money with upgrades or updates, you have to activate or to give the customer a new license, and the customer has to activate the new license in the way that I have described before. Perpetual floating network license. What is that? So sometimes a customer, an end user, has the need that he wants to have more than one license for a certain amount of people in this company. So floating network licenses are the interesting licenses for this requirement. The lifetime software usage rights for multiple concurrent users with no renewal or recurring fees. So it's a perpetual floating network license. It's limited today up to 20 people in the network. So what you have to do, you deliver your software to a customer, and the customer installs the code with a runtime, on the one hand on a licensed server in his company, and on all the clients that wants to use these licenses in the network. The only thing you have to do to configure one or more as licensing servers, the license is activated on this licensed server, and the communication is done between the different code meter runtimes on the one side on the clients, and all these clients can communicate with the license that is activated on the network server. So it's very easy to install, it's very easy to use, and it's only limited here in that package to 20 clients at the end. So the use case, you can define features individually, which are activated during the creation of the licenses. You can configure multiple packages of seats. It's up to you how you do that. And during the creation of the license, you select the desired package. So before you deliver these licenses, you can configure the features that you want to give to your customers upfront. Use cases are licensing on a floating network server or licenses in a licensed server in a plant. So it's also very good for industrial automation. You have a plant and you have a licensed server within that plant, and a lot of devices working using the licenses of this licensed server. And it is easy to use because the license update, for example, has only to be done on the licensed server, not on each client. Advantage: no renewal needed. Again, it's a now and forever license. It can be used completely offline, as I told you before, and the licenses can be shared by multiple users. It's a kind of a seat. It's not a personal license. You can do that, but not here. In this case, you can 20 people or 20 devices can use these licenses. Again, the disadvantage is that there is no recurring revenue for the vendors, and users must purchase a license for the new version if required. The same story. Now let's turn to the more interesting license model, at least from the business side. So subscription single user licenses. Software usage rights with a predefined expiration date that can be set in the moment when you create a license. You can configure it in the way that there's an automatic 1-year renewal unless canceled with a notice period. What is a notice period? So you can say, okay, for example, that's how we do it with our own X-Protector licenses. You get a license for the year 2026. And we have a notice period of 90 days. If you cancel the contract before the 90 days start, then we cancel the contract with you. If you do not cancel the contract because the software is so great, then there is a renewal available on the server side for your licenses. So you are able, before the license expired at the end of the year 2026, that's in October, you can already renew the licenses for the following year, in this example, 2027. It's again a subscription for a dedicated user. It's a subscription for a dedicated machine. Low upfront investment for users, of course, because you do not have to spend a one-time fee, which is in most cases much more higher than the subscription fee. The users always have access to the latest version because every new license also means that you can work with the very latest version of your application. It's a recurrent revenue for you, that's for sure. Disadvantages: long-term higher costs for users. So if you have to pay year by year, the idea is that you pay at the end as end user more than you would have been paid you would have paid if you buy it for one time. Users do not own the software. That's clear in case of a subscription. So if the subscription ended, also the usage of the software ends. Renewal process in offline scenarios is of course a challenge, because that's what I have said before with creating the fingerprint file and with the sneaker interface. That has to be done every time the license has to be renewed. So for example, every year. That's a thing you have to consider if you want to use such a model. Same story with the subscription floating network licenses. So that's what I have discussed before. It's the license that your user can activate on a licensed server. In this case, it's not a perpetual one, it's a subscription one. Configuration is in principle the same. The use cases are the same. The advantages are the same. The only thing is that you have one license to activate on the end user side, and a lot of up to 20 people in these companies can work with this license. Then we have the need for so-called trial licenses. A single user machine is granted the right to use the software for a limited evaluation period. That's a great thing, because someone can try before use your software. These are licenses that have an end date, so you can define features that can be individually activated during license creation. Trial versions usually include all features, because you want to make the customer aware that here are a lot of interesting features available in this application that you want to sell to him. And you can configure multiple evaluation periods. And this period is selected during the license creation. So you can say, okay, I want to create a license for the end user that lasts for 60 days, for 30 days, for 90 days, or even 120 days. It depends on your salespeople and how complicated it is to evaluate your application in total. So use cases are evaluation licenses. Of course, you can use that also for emergency licenses. So that means in the moment when the customer desperately need an additional license or has problems with the existing license, then you can send them an emergency license that lasts for 60 days, for example, and the customer has time to solve his problems during this time before he can use the real licenses again. Advantages: user can evaluate the software without purchasing. Users can bridge periods when valid licenses are unavailable or temporarily not functioning. Or software vendors can collect user data in the moment when someone wants to evaluate a license. So this is the point that you do not want to throw trial licenses in the world. You really want to know who is the one who really uses or evaluates my application. The disadvantage, of course, is potential misuse by users. So you have to take care that a potential customer does not ask for trial licenses again and again and again, and so has a full license without paying anything. Prepaid time-based license, that's another interesting use case that we have seen in the market. So it's comparable to the cards that you find in supermarkets at the cashier, where you can buy 100 euros for a certain service, or you can buy 365 days for Netflix or for other services that work in this way. So the licenses are not automatically renewed. There is a defined period for such a card. The period starts with the activation of the licenses. So in the moment when you, for example, scratch on the back of these cards, you scratch the number. In our case, it's the ticket ID that the end user gets from you. You activate such a license, and the time that you have bought for using an application or a service starts exactly in the moment of the activation. If there already is an activated license, maybe you have bought, or your customer has bought a license before, the remaining days will be automatically added to the existing license. Once the license periods are merged, the action cannot be undone. That's an important thing to know. Prepaid licenses generally come with a predefined feature set, so it's exactly clear what you get if you buy such a prepaid time-based license. Advantages: predictable costs for the users, flexible purchase for the users. The users can really buy a new time or a new time for when he really needs it, not before, not later. It's not the typical subscription where you have to buy year by year by year. Disadvantage: there's no recurring revenue for the software vendor because you do not know when the end user really needs additional time for that. Not-For-Resale licenses, internal licenses, these are very interesting for your salespeople, for your developers, for your test department. They all need licenses as well. And these licenses are for a single user or a single machine, only for internal use. They allow access to all the features, and you can immediately activate it. And these licenses expires after 30 days and renews automatically, so that your internal people can renew the licenses without any problems. Configuration: you can define features that can be individually activated during the license creation. Typically, is you open all the features to these licenses. Licenses for employees, for salespeople, for developers, for showroom licenses that you want to use if you have a trade show, for example, and need licenses that also open everything. But these licenses are limited to 30 days. It's free of charge for demonstration purposes, and there is no disadvantage of these licenses.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. So now that we understood that with CmLaaS, our focus is on simplifying licensing for you as a software vendor to make it more accessible for you. Now, what if you need more, right? What if this is not enough? So let's go through the different models we have, the different editions. So first of all, we have the professional edition. So here you can monetize up to 10 products. And each of these products can have up to 10 features. And for the floating network licenses, you can use up to 10 seats per CmContainer. And the trial periods are limited to 30, 60, or 90 days. And then there's also the enterprise edition, where you can license an unlimited number of products. You can have up to these 20 seats per CmContainer in the floating network license. And you can use up to 20 features for your products each. Then you can set up custom trial periods. So if you want to have 31 days or 67, whatever, you can configure this here. And what's also planned now is if now you are using these license models and this is not enough for you, then in the future, we plan that you will be able to customize license models to have own ones. And the last point is, what if you are using CmLaaS Enterprise Edition and you hit the top? You see, okay, you need more features, more options, and then it will be possible to have a transition from CmLaaS to an individual license central instance. And here you have the full functionality you know from all the previous webinars. This is our classical license central instance you can use with, of course, an unlimited number of CmContainers. You can fully custom your licenses, your license modeling, and you have the full functionality of everything. Like, for example, named user licenses, borrowing, which is not represented in CmLaaS, unbound mode, etc. Also, you'll have professional services support if you are purchasing an individual license central instance. This you won't have if you're using CmLaaS. So, okay, now we talked a lot about what it is. Let's see how to use it, how to use CmLaaS. And how can you license your products? It's very simple. We have these 3 steps.
Yes, and that's exactly what makes life easier when you want to monetize and to protect your software. So you create so-called license templates. These are the ones that I have explained before. You protect your software and you just issue licenses to customers. No need to read too many manuals, no need to dive very deep in our technology. You can do it, of course, but it's no longer necessary. You can use protection and licensing I would say within a day or 2, and you are prepared to sell your software. We have different license containers. Let me tell you something about license containers. Our technology is based on license containers, which can be CM dongles, CM Act licenses, or CM Cloud Container. It's very easy to mix or use different types of license containers, and the license containers are containers in the real sense. It has nothing to do with virtual machines. It's really a container that contains later several license entries that represents the license models. So it's very easy to use CM dongles, cloud licenses, or CM Act license from your application, because it doesn't matter which kind of license container you use. Your application is completely independent from the license container usage, because typically you install our CodeMeter runtime service, which is the intermediate layer between your application and the license containers. So they have all the same structure, cloud, dongle, act license. They have all the same structure. You can use it from your software without any problems. And we are now want to show you, away from gray theory, how this LaaS works at the end. And I want to say something about the software protection first, because our technology is a wonderful combination of software protection and license management. So licenses are nothing else than cryptographic keys that have some characteristics, subscription models, expiration dates, or pay-per-use counter, and you can create pay-per-use licenses, and the protection of licenses using our protection suite. So we have several we have one AX protector that supports several target systems and target languages, so that you are able to protect your software very easy with our tool chain. And a customer later needs the corresponding license, so that the end user is able to decrypt the software in the memory of the running PC, only in the moment when he has or she has the right license, the right cryptographic key available in the license. And that said, I want to hand over to Sven, so that he is showing you how this whole process works, and you can see that it is very easy to protect the software later on and to create licenses with pre-configured templates. Sven.
All right. So now that we talked about the license models and everything, let's create some license templates you can use for your licensing. So this is our CmLaaS portal, which is where all the magic happens. And now I will log in as WIBU, that's us, and together with us, you will create, we will create an instance for your company. Here it is. We have all information we need, everything we need. And now we will create some templates for your license. So, and now you will tell us what you want to have. So we have our name of the product. You told us it's a sample notepad, right, Stefan?
Yes.
Okay, sample notepad. You see here we have these 10 different products we can create templates for. And now we want license models. So for each of the products we have here, we select here, we can create license templates for each license model. So let's start by creating a try license first. Try license. And you told me, Stefan, that the features for your software are font. Here it is. So we add font, hex, and C#.
So these are the functions that I have created in my sample notepad application. And these are the ones that I want to sell in addition.
Exactly. The idea will be that you have a basic license, and if the customer wants to buy more, then the customer can buy these features in addition, and then can be selected in the creation of the license. Then here we have the selection of the number of different trial periods we can have. So the idea here is that let's select 30 days. So on license creation, we can create a license that will be valid for 30 days, but we'll also be able to create trial licenses that are valid for 60 days. So we have different options on license creation. Okay, that being said, I think that's done. So we have our first license model, our license template, sorry. All right, so that went very quick. Let's make another one. I think you wanted to have a subscription single user license. Yeah, okay, so of course, we had the same product, so the product name is detected and the features, so we don't have to type this again. And now we need a cancellation period, so time for the customer to cancel the subscription. Let's say we give the customer 90 days. All right.
So he can cancel that subscription 90 days before the end of the expiration time. That's what I have explained before.
Exactly. If 89 days before the license is expired, it's too late.
Yeah, but the advantage is that then the renewal is there and the customer can, without any intervention with you, he can renew the licenses because it's available for renewal in the portal.
Exactly. We have an automatic prolongation of the software license. Okay, so we create a template, and here we have our template. That's it. We have our license templates that are ready to use. But first, there is something to do, which is what? Software protection.
Yeah.
So what different kinds of software protection are there? Upon creation of the license template, as I said, I will show you very quickly. You will be able to receive a file for the protection. And the two methods, of course, for the licensing is that you implement in your software. Is the first method here, API. You implement in your software that the software only works if a license is detected, right? This is very, very basic. You introduce in your software different elements of the CodeMeter SDK you have to install. Is no, not of the SDK, of the API, CodeMeter API language to communicate with the CodeMeter to see is there a license. So there are different commands like CmAccess, CmCrypt, CmRelease, CmGet last error code. These are the standard commands to access it. And all the information you need is in the protection file you will receive from the license template. So in there, the product code and everything is defined automatically by CmLaaS. You have to read it out and adapt it. Okay, but in this case, if you're using the API, nothing is encrypted, right, Stefan?
Just using the API means it's not encrypted. That's the reason why we highly recommend to use the AX protector to secure the application from tampering on the one side, for re-engineering on the other side. And that makes, especially under the background of the Cyber Resilience Act, a good feeling to you, because you have made everything that protects not only the application, but also the license usage very much, because you have to check for licenses in your application. If you do that just with an SDK, that is not enough to make sure that nobody can cheat you with licenses. But using the AX protector, protecting, encrypting, or obfuscating with the new CodeMeter compile time protection, then you have the security you need to be sure that nobody can hack your application so easily.
Okay, no, that sounds good. And also then for this, you need to install the CodeMeter SDK for your software to communicate correctly with the CodeMeter runtime. And also, then in this case for XProtector, you need a CM Cloud FSB and an XProtector license to be able to use XProtector. And the CM Cloud FSB is for the correct encryption according to the firm code you have received from us. And then you can protect your software.
Correct. And to mention that, we have that protection suite in the Edge Protector for several operating systems, for example, for Windows, for .NET, for Linux, for macOS. We have it for several languages like Java, like Python, very interesting in case of artificial intelligence algorithms and programs. We have it for JavaScript. So you have a huge variety of possibilities to protect your application depending on the target operating system or the language that you use, so that you can really protect your software with our protection suite, whatever you use at the end of the day.
That sounds good. So let's go to the demo. Okay, as I told you, here you have our template, and clicking on this symbol, you get an Edge Protector configuration file to protect your software. So let's open the file, and Edge Protector will open up. So let's protect our .NET application. I will enter the path for the DLL file. And as Stefan said, this can be done for different kinds of software platforms. We're doing it here with .NET.
And we support .NET as well, of course, on the Windows and on the Linux. .NET Core is also supported from our side.
Great, yeah, good. Yeah, thanks a lot. And so next, the target directory. The source code is analyzed to see if there are markers for modular protection, and some were found. I'll show you this. The license lists and the license entries. This is where this becomes interesting, because with the license lists, these represent your features. The features can be assigned to license entries. So that's the features are only usable if the license entries are present in a license found by your CodeMeter runtime. You can do this very granularly. You can assign the different functions of your software to the different license lists. And in our case, that has already been done. Some additional options are also available. We'll skip these for now. I think there will be a webinar for Edge Protector and software protection in particular, because this is a very interesting topic that has, and there are many things to discuss. Next, I will skip this. Here we see our configuration given first of all by CmLaaS. As I told you, here we have our main product with the firm code, the product code, and we have our features like font, hex, C#, also firm code, and an automatically generated product code. We have our license lists that were for our features. Then these are our options that we configured, and the files input output folder. That being said, we encrypt our software, and this takes a little bit while. Then our software is protected. Great. So what's next? of course, now we want to sell licenses, right, Stefan?
Yeah, that's the point. Now we have a protected application. That's wonderful. We can sell 3 different functionalities beside our basic license. But how do we do that? That's the important point. So let's see how we can build that up.
And especially, yeah, how can we sell our license? And you want to sell all your licenses all around the world, right? You want to scale your business, right?
Of course. Software business is a global business. So if you're getting larger as a company, it makes totally sense to have resellers in between that sell your licenses in their regional markets, for example. So it makes sense to have already today in our structure the possibility to add resellers to that whole game as well, but also in a very easy way. So let's see how that works.
Yeah. So first of all, let's see how this works when you sell licenses without resellers at all.
Yeah, that's the beginning typically.
Yeah, that's the beginning. In most cases, you could at least pretend to have a sales department, right? Even if you're a one-man company, you see that every time you buy something on eBay from one person, and the one person tells you, I redirected your order to my sales department. And let's do this here. And in this case, the sales department, direct sales, has creation rights for your license, creates license, and distributes licenses to your customers. Very self-explaining, right? So nothing special.
Straightforward.
Yeah, exactly. So with resellers, additionally to your sales department, you have a reseller. And here you can have different approaches. First of all, if you have a new reseller, you don't know the reseller very well, especially at the beginning, I think, you wouldn't want your reseller to create licenses, right?
Yes, here in that picture, you see these stars are saying this one is allowed to create licenses.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
are, as an ISV, are allowed to create licenses. Your direct sales, of course, is allowed to create licenses, but the reseller is not allowed. He's only allowed to distribute existing created licenses to customers. But of course, you are right. If you have huge success, and the resellers don't want to wait for you as an ISV to give new licenses to them, you allow them to create licenses as well. And that's the next picture.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, so in the case you wouldn't allow the reseller to create licenses, you would create them, give them to the reseller would distribute them to the customers. So now we want our reseller to have this star on the top right to create licenses. The reseller will create licenses and distribute them to customers.
Yes, but what does that mean at the end of the day if the reseller is allowed to create licenses? You need a reporting for that. You have to make sure that you charge your resellers for hopefully many created licenses on their own.
That's correct. That's correct. And we'll see later what's in the report. But the idea is that each of your departments, resellers, whatever, you can get reports from them to find out how to improve your business and how many licenses you sold.
And to create invoices, of course. You want to earn money.
Exactly, to create invoices.
Yeah.
But so let's first see how license creation itself is done.
Yeah, we saw before that how to protect your application, and then that there is the need of licenses for the end customer. But how easy is it to create licenses now for the end customers?
And that's the point. And so To create the license, of course, you need the license template. So we have one. You create it with this, and after this, you assign the license either to your department or to a reseller as a group, or you could also assign a license directly to a user in the CmLaaS portal. This would also be possible. So let's do this very quickly and create some licenses. So we have our templates. Let's navigate to your to the portal where you would be, and you see this here is our sales organization. Okay. And in the sales organization, let's imagine we have a new customer. So we add a customer. Okay, so now we are in the context of this customer group, and here we can create licenses. You see here, this is our company, and these are the products from the templates. You recognize them.
Hopefully, yes. These are the templates.
Exactly.
Trial licenses and subscription single user license. That's what we have configured in the beginning of the webinar.
That's exactly it. And so now I can show you very quickly, like the trial license first. We said we want to have the option that to create 30, 60 days. So here we could select this, right? This is what I saw. But
yes,
let's create a subscription license. And I think we should give the customer all the different features, right? They want to buy the full package.
He has bought it, so it's okay.
Yeah, okay. That's good. We create a new license. And how this works is, in the most basic case, you copy the ticket number given here, you send it to the customer. Customer will navigate to the CmLaaS portal, enter the ticket here, activate the license.
We choose the CmAct license as the target license container for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
so now we are in the shoes of the end user. Because now you change the role from creating a license for this end user to we are now in the shoes of the end user, and the end user wants to activate the license on his system.
Yeah, that's it. That's what the end user does. And so we activate the selected license.
There is no CmAct license on this PC, so there is the full activation process done. As you see, it's very, very fast. And now the end customer has the license and can use it now.
Exactly. Yeah. So there was no CmContainer on the machine. The CmContainer was created automatically. All the context file, update file, back and forth is done automatically. As you said, Stefan, the customer now has a fully functional license on the computer. And just to show you the product, this is our nice little product here, our sample notepad. And for example, if we check font here, right, it works. This is our module we had, our feature. If we hadn't had the full package, then it wouldn't work. Okay, so we created a license. What's next? Yeah, what's in the report? This is interesting to know. I heard about active containers. Active containers are included in the report. These are containers which contain an activated, valid license that is not expired, right? And also created containers are inside the report. So these are containers that at some point in time contained an activated license. Straightforward, very simple, no complications. Okay, so I think we're at the end of our webinar.
Yeah, thank you very much from my side. And now it's the best time. We still have a few minutes left for questions coming up from all the participants. I see one interesting question here. This is an entry system for customers that want to be very fast without any having a lot of time to read the manuals, to set up systems. And is it possible, in case of a huge success that I have, to change from this very easy model, easy to handle model, to the real code meter technology in whole? And the answer is yes, because under the hood, we are using our standard technology. No limitations there. It's our standard technology. It's just simplified using such a LaaS system, licensing as a service system, to make it very much easier for you to get speed in protecting your application and speed in creating license models and delivering license models with a huge portal. And we have our standard systems like CmAct licenses, like CM dongles and CM Cloud already configured in that system. So no need to buy several systems, combine it. It's only for the entry stage, of course, but you can upgrade it to a real system, also very easy at the end of the day. Are there any other questions?
Yes, so the general question is, that works well together with the question you said, and we had this question last time also. Can I, for example, make a software activation wizard? And the answer is yes, because as you said, Stefan, the functionality is given, right? The whole can I communicate with the license portal via API? These things, they are given. Also, the questions we had, can I deactivate a license when it was activated? And the answer is, of course, yes. Everything you can do with a license in the workflow, you can do this with CmLaaS too.
I have another interesting question. Thank you very much. The LaaS approach is really nice. That's great to hear. Is LaaS also compatible with Cloud Light? The answer is soon. So it is on our roadmap. We are about to include Cloud Light as the predecessor from Cloud Light also in that system, because Cloud Light is very interesting for SaaS applications that don't want to use the code meter runtime in the backend. So it's coming up, a little bit patient, but we have it on our list.
And yeah, of course, and the more requests we have for example, software as a service applications to work with CmLaaS, the more pressure will be there. Just please contact our sales team and tell them what your requirements are, and of course, then it will be possible to use these things. And another question was, what about virtual environments, virtual machines? In CmLaaS, we chose the approach that you can select whether to be able to use virtual machines especially using CmAct licenses or not. Because CmAct licenses and virtual machines, we know this can pose some kind of security risk. And you can say, okay, I choose or not, and then you can use CmAct regularly with virtual machines, as with previous products too. Nothing changed.
Yeah, and one last question. We had a lot of them, so don't be afraid. We will answer them later in the chat. But one last question for the general. Apart from CodeMeter LaaS, do you offer a standard e-commerce tool for customers to be able to purchase the license? since we use our standard technology, like the License Central, like the License Portal under the hood, I'm pretty sure we have an API, correct me if I'm wrong, Sven, that allows you to add or to connect a standard e-commerce system like you can do it today with our License Central. Is that correct?
It should be possible. But please come to us directly with your requirement if this is really something, and we could check this in detail and to really verify that this is possible. But there was just one more thing that comes into my mind to connected with this is what you saw, the license template creation at the moment. You as a software vendor would do this together with our sales team from WIBU, but in the future, we are planning for you to have a self-service portal to create your license templates yourself. That's the idea behind all this, to make things simpler and the communication leaner and quicker. So, okay, so if there are more questions,
we have indeed a lot of questions, but it's 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We will care about the questions, don't worry. But I want to close that session. Thank you very much. I hope you got a wonderful overview about our licensing as a service solution. Thank you, Sven, for all the demos. And I hope we will see you in one of our next webinars soon. Thank you very much from my side.
Thank you very much. Also, thank you very much, Stefan. And have a nice day. Take care and see you next time.